Hey YouTube, what's happening? Chris here. Want to bring you guys a little update on Bitcoin. We're going to be going over it today on the 12-hour chart is what we're going to be looking at, guys. We're going to probably get into the day a little bit as well, maybe a little bit in the 4 hours. But if you guys could like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, guys. We're on the Bitcoin videos here. We're trying to get 200 likes, and you guys did that and on the last video, and I'm very thankful for that. So just keep that up for me, guys, and I'll keep bringing you these videos, and especially those tutorials for the people who watch those. I'm very proud of you for really studying and digging into that stuff. So guys, leave it down low if you believe Bitcoin's going to go back up and test 3,600. Are we going to have a retest of this trend line right here? Do you feel like we're going to come back up and test it around that $3,600 mark, right around in that range? And are we going to get back up into this triangle here? Or are we going to just roll over from where we're at? Or are we going to bounce off this trend line and then go down farther? Because sometimes, you know, you have those throwbacks where you'll fall and then you'll come back to the trend line and then you fall down even farther. So that's the bearish case there, guys. And then the bullish case would be we get back up in this trend line, we close up in here in the next day or two. So we would get up above the 20 moving average, close back up in here, and then we kind of drift in here until we can test this upper trend line. Now, if we close above the upper trend line, what we would have to battle with next is the $4,000 mark, and this is in red, where we're going to have a lot of overhead resistance. So that's our overhead resistance there around 4,000. That would be a really big target area. And then down here for support, we'd want to see that 31.53 around that area hold if we were to just roll over here and head back down, or if we were to test this and then drop back down from there. So those are the targets that I'm looking at, guys. And remember, the 20 EMA and the 50 EMA are acting as overhead resistance right now, and the 200 moving average is also coming down upon us here. But, you know, guys, that's what we want to pay attention to is this is the main thing for the day here. Where are we going to close? Are we going to close higher? Is this candle going to be higher? And you can see in the last 12 hours that we have been closing higher. So we're going to have to see where this one lands. And if we do close here, then maybe we can come up and we can test this 20 EMA that's swooping down upon us here on the 12-hour. I think it's nice to look at the 12-hour, guys, since it is kind of split down the middle. The 4 hour is very important. I find the 1 hour very important. Obviously the day, the weekly. But a lot of people don't pay enough attention to the 12-hour, in my opinion. But next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about were kind of my buy zones and sell zones. So right now, guys, I'm watching the market. I'm sitting back right now and I'm going to see what happens. I want to see if we do come back up here and test this, because if we test this and it's on some weak volume, guys, that may be a good opportunity to short around that 3,600 where we have all this resistance as well as this trend line. So I'm paying attention to this for a potential short opportunity, and then on the long end I'm looking to see if we would form a double bottom down here around that 31.53, and if we do form a double bottom there on volume, then we may have another run back up to that trend line. So those are the things I'm paying attention to. Now, guys, the volume though, see, we're starting to move up here, and we had this Harami pattern here on the 12 hours right here, and we started to move up, but do you see the volume's decreasing? So that's why I almost don't feel like we're even going to get back up into this triangle. We may test it, may have a little bit more, but I'm very cautious about where we're at right now. And that's just me, guys. I just really want to see, because we did break down and we had a very bearish candle here, this long day candle that closed down deep in here. So that's very significant, and I know we've kind of just been going down and sideways a little bit, but I do feel like there could be that further flush down because of this long candle right here. A lot of times these get cleared out. When you have a big candle like that, you'll see on the other side it'll get made up for. Like this one, you see this real long candle here, and then on the other side it almost matches it right here, guys, and then here. And these are the patterns that I like to look for. I like to try to identify patterns and things. Like if you look back, you can look at the moving averages and you can kind of see how price reacted to the 20 moving average, the 50 moving average, what happened after closes of those, how much did we run. So really back testing stuff is one of the most important things that you can do, so you can kind of find these pattern recognitions, which is very important. Now, guys, what we're going to do next, we're going to put on the Fibonacci, and we're going to kind of see where we're landing on that, because remember, it's very important to look at these Fibonacci levels, because a lot of guys have bots programmed with these Fibonaccis as well. So from our low to our high there, swing low to swing high, we now are getting a bounce off that 786, and that's what we talked about yesterday. Would the 786 be defended? Remember in the video where we talked about that? And right now it is being defended, guys. It's not being defended on the best volume, but we did have this harami pattern that formed. So this is the mother right here, this body, and then the smaller body is like the child inside the mother. And that's why they call it harami or harami, because it means pregnant woman in Japan, or pregnancy in Japan, in Japanese. So pay attention to that, guys. We did defend that, but look up here why I said 36 may be a good area to short is because you have this trend line, you have the moving averages, and you have this overhead resistance all converging it into one spot, along with the 0.618. That's very difficult to get back up above right now as well. So guys, that's what we need to see hold. Otherwise, our next potential buy area would be that 31.29 is where I would be looking to potentially maybe pick up along, but it depends on what's going on with the volume. If the volume's weak, then we may just roll over and we could go to that 2800 really fast. You know, we want to pay attention. So let me get these off here, guys, these trend lines, and another trend line that I want you to see and we need to pay attention to. This one right here. It's going to be very important if we break out through that. So this one's also coming down upon us here. And are we going to get a break out of it with good volume and a close above it? That would be awesome. Or are we going to get rejected by it? Do you see the lower highs? Lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low, lower low, moving down. So let's keep our eye on that as well, guys. This trend line here, this one's going to be very crucial. And the next thing we're going to look at is RSI. I want to see what's happening with that, see if we see anything. Alright. So guys, right now on the RSI, we are pointing up right now. So know that the relative strength index is going up. Almost looks like we kind of had that double bottom here. And the way I know this side right here is a little bit higher, but we had that little double bottom. Now we're coming back up, and we're going to see if we can get over this resistance at the 40. The 40 is always hard to get up above once you go underneath it. So the 40 is right here, guys. We're going to see what we do with it. We want to stay up above that for the most part, and that's why when you kind of dip below it, it gets tough to get back up above it. And remember, guys, still this is on the 12-hour that we're looking at right now. I just wanted to go through this with you guys. And then when you look at the RSI, also take a look at some overhead resistance here. Take a look at this trend line. And after a while, guys, you start to just spot this stuff out with your eye. So we're going to have to get up above this, and then we'd have to get a break above this, where we're going to have overhead resistance right in here. So that's what I like to do with the RSI, guys, is kind of see convergence, divergence, all that type of stuff in terms of bullish bearishness. Like if price is going up and the RSI is going down, those are the things that I try to spot, that type of stuff. I look for a lot of like the tweezer tops, guys, for tops, and then bottoms also. And then also candles you want to pay a lot of attention to, guys. Very strong candles, you know, like a bullish engulfing candle down at the bottom. That type of stuff. But this is what I wanted to bring to you guys. We're going to step out real quick on the 1 day, but we're almost complete here, guys. Not a ton to talk to. We're just going to have to see what happens with today, see how we deal with those trend lines like we were looking at. And guys, I want to check the Fibonacci real quickly from this direction. So we're still below the 0.236, which is tough to get over, and that's at 39.31. So that's going to be another test, guys. I mean, there's a lot of overhead resistance that's coming at us. I mean, just with candles alone, we're going to have 35 is going to be overhead resistance, 37. This isn't even counting moving averages, anything like that, guys. And then that 4,000. Then let's look at the candle close of yesterday on the 1 day chart. And tell me what you guys are doing. Leave it down below. Buying, selling. Just kind of looking at some patterns here, guys. See if I spotted anything for us. Alright. So the new trend line for us to hold that we'd want, closing off the real bodies here. Right in here from yesterday, where we came close to a little hammer candle here. The wick wasn't 2 to 3 times as long as the body, but it was getting closer there. and it also wasn't put in on the most volume, which we would want to see more volume. But we're going to see if we can hold this trend line today and close up above that. That's going to be an important thing. So guys, the trend's still down, the moving averages are down. You can see right here the 50 is kind of flattening out above us, and that's going to act as a ceiling as well. 20s pointing down, so a lot of things are pointing down, especially for the day. So my opinion, guys, this will be what's tested next down the road, right around in there, and that's where I'm going to look for a potential long, and like I said, potential short maybe around that 3600, where we have all this congestion over here, and we're having the 0.618 on the fib, all that type of stuff as overhead resistance. So you guys leave it down low. Tell me what you're doing. If you like when I kind of put, you know, buy zones, sell zones, guys, that doesn't mean that that's where I'm putting orders or anything. That's just the spots that I'm looking at. And remember, none of this is financial advice. This is just entertainment, me giving my opinion on things. And I'll continue to do the best I can for you guys. God bless each and every one of you. Keep up the good work and just pay attention, guys. This market can move really fast and it can change very fast. So we'll see what's going down. God bless each and every one of you.